It's 3 for Thursday. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Jack Wolf knives. This is a Big Bro Jack. It's in sunset orange. This carbon fiber is just gorgeous. But then again, I love orange. Let's take a look at the fit and finish on it. I don't see any gaps at all in this knife. Everything is just perfect. Centering, I don't think you could make a knife better than that. Now it only has a nail nick on one side, but you can pinch this blade to open it, which is nice. This is an S90V. We have a cutting edge of 2 5/8 an overall blade length of just under 3 inches, and an overall length of the knife of 6 7/8 of an inch. So that's the Big Bro Jack. This is a Javelina Jack in natural micarta. This also has an S90V blade. This knife has just a little bit smaller feel to it. Just under 2 3/4 inch cutting edge and 6 5/8 inch overall length. This again is an S90V. All of these have all titanium bolsters. In fact, the liners and the bolsters are all one piece. Taking a look at this one. Again, not a single gap. And the centering is it's right there. This thing is just about perfect, as are all Jack Wolfs. The screws are slightly recessed. I don't feel anything on the back side. Even running my fingernail across. Now, right at the bolster, I can feel a slight catch right there on the spring. Very, very slight. And this last one is the newest one. And this is different from all the other models. All the other models so far have been slip joints. This one they call a bolster lock. It's kind of an odd mechanism. I've never actually used a knife or owned a knife that had this type of a mechanism before. So, first of all, you can do a front flip on this knife. You can do a Spidey flick. Now, I haven't been able to do a regular thumb flick, but I can roll it open easily. So I think just the angle of the nail nick, and I can't catch my thumb in there right to do a regular thumb flick, but just roll it open. This knife is quite fidgetable in a number of different ways you can open it, and the Spidey flick on this is quite satisfying. So this is titanium bolster lock, but it does have, you can see a screw here. There is a stainless steel insert, so it's not titanium against the S90V blade. This is also the largest of the three that I have. This is in dark matter gold, which is a really nice carbon fiber. The cutting edge on this one is 2 7/8. Overall blade length is 3 1/4. And overall length of the knife is 7 1/4. Again, the screws are slightly recessed in the scale, which is kind of a cheat, so you don't have to have it perfectly flush, and I'm 100% fine with that. This knife has a triple threaded bolster in the front and a single thread in the back. Again, everything is made perfectly. It's smooth. Centering is right on. Just beautiful knives, every one of these, and they're all very consistent. Their quality is the same from one to another. There really is no variation at all between these 3 samples that I have. Every one of them is just about pure perfection in a knife. Now, let's get down to some pricing here. These are $350. These are $300. And these in canvas are $275. So what it comes down to, yes, these knives are excellent. And they are perfection in the modern folder. You're not really going to get any better. This is top of the line. The fit and finish is excellent. The quality is excellent. The materials are excellent. Everything is where it should be. But how about value to me as a customer? Last week on 3 for Thursday, we looked at 3 Ohio River Jacks. These are the 3 that I have. Now, where's the value? Now, I know when Jack Wolf started out, they started using M390 for their blade steel. The Ohio River Jacks are an M390. So at least when they started out, the steels were equivalent. But lately, in the last few releases, Jack Wolf has gone with S90V, which is a step up from M390. M390 today is almost seen by a lot of people as a very common steel. And it is getting more and more common. It's still an incredible high-end steel. So I wouldn't let the fact that these are M390 rule them out in favor of S90V. In actual use, I really don't see that much of a difference. M390 is just a wonderful steel. And I think it's a little easier to touch up than the S90V. Although S90V is, it's not hard, it really isn't. If you use a diamond cutter and you use strops with some of your diamond compounds, it's really not that difficult. If you don't have diamonds, then it is difficult because the abrasive isn't strong enough to really cut the steel and you don't end up getting it sharp. Some funny things happen because you're putting too much pressure trying to get your abrasive to cut, and you end up rolling a burr back and forth and weakening the edge. If you're going to go with these modern super steels, just use diamond. It's the only way to go. Now, back to the comparison here. We're looking at roughly $300 to $350 knives. These two are $125 each every day. Now, if you take this new one, the Gunslinger, you could buy 3 of these knives for the price of 1. And if we take these out and we do a comparison, your blade length is about the same. Your stock thickness is about the same. The overall knife thickness is about the same. The handle is taller. And in my opinion, the fit and finish on these is just about at the same level as the Jack Wolf. It's so slightly inferior, but only in some ways. And it's superior in other ways. I will tell you a way that's superior, and it is superior in comfort. Now, just for example, all edges here are chamfered. Even take the inside here of the liner. And if I pick up a Jack Wolf, that's sharp. That may not seem like a big deal, but when you're cutting something hard and you're squeezing, you can feel those edges. I know at least I can. And I prefer the way that the Ohio River Jack is done. All the edges are smooth and chamfered. Better so than what the Jack Wolf knives are. Even up here, the corners are kind of sharp. So as you squeeze that knife, I can feel all these sharp edges digging into my hand. When I squeeze this knife, I just feel smoothness and I feel comfort. What that's telling me is if you have a lot of stuff to cut, this knife is going to be much more comfortable in hand for long-term use. So if you're buying these as a work knife that you're actually going to use and do a substantial amount of cutting with, I would spend my money on the Ohio River Jacks rather than the Jack Wolf. Another thing that concerns me, at least for a hard use, I mean, this hollow grind, it's so thin. These blades come down so thin, and these are incredible slicers. These do slice better than the Ohio River Jacks. But in an actual work knife, unless you're processing food, in which case you'd probably have chef's knives on you, I question the durability of such a thin blade in a modern super steel that's going to be a little bit more brittle than some of your more common steels or your steels that have a higher toughness level. So I think the flat grind on these is better suited to a work knife. And I know my preference has always been in any kind of traditional or modern traditional, I really like 2 or 3 bladed knives. I like having the option. I like having a clip point, along with a Wharncliffe for different types of cutting. So one knife has you covered for whatever task that you have to do. So these are excellent. This knife may be a little thick for some. I rather like it. It fits my hand size very well. So if it's a little thick, then these are perfect knives. So that's my recommendation on where you would be better off to spend your money. The Jack Wolves offer definitely a superior look and fancier materials. The Ohio River Jacks specialize in utility. They specialize in value and in durability as a hard use, everyday carry knife. So here's what I've decided. Because the value of these is so great and they're built so tough for a daily EDC knife that's going to see heavy use, I've decided I'm going to keep all 3 of the Ohio River Jacks, but I'm going to sell 2 of these Jack Wolf knives. So let me know in the comments below which of these 3 Jack Wolf knives you like the best, and if you have a recommendation on which one of these 3 that I should keep for myself. That's it for this 3 for Thursday. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you think is the best of these 3 Jack Wolf knives, and let me know what you think of the comparison between the Jack Wolf and the Ohio River Jacks. We'll see you next time.